Hi YouTube, I thought it would be fun to make a lemon strawberry vegan macro-friendly cake. Spring is just around the corner and I have a craving for this. I was sick a few weeks ago and I indulged on the local Chicago bakery Pie My Darling strawberry lemon cake. It was so delicious and I want to continue to have that flavor, but make it macro friendly. So here we go. I developed a recipe and we will see how it goes. So we're going to start with some fresh strawberries, which we're going to blend in. We're going to fold it into the batter. So I'm going to start with 150 grams of fresh strawberries. So I have my food scale here and I'm just measuring these out. So I washed them off and let me get these going here. So those of you that have followed me a while, you know that I don't necessarily think that there's good and bad foods per se. It's more so understanding your ingredients and working with them to fit into your goals at the moment. So yes, a traditional cake will have oil and real sugar, and I'm not against those things, but when I'm in contest prep like I am now, those things do not fit into my nutritional profile for my goals. So I can go ahead and make a similar tasting item, just won't have quite that same luscious, sugary, fatty mouthfeel of a real cake, but I can still enjoy the flavors. So, all right, I washed these off. Let me make sure that this is 150 grams. Oh, I need another strawberry. All right. And we're going to blend these up. I have a little mini food processor, which is perfect for this sort of operation. So here's my fresh strawberries all cut up. And now I'm going to plug in my little mini food processor. I really recommend you get one of these in your kitchen. Everybody please excuse any background noise you hear. My husband is here playing video games and not respecting my filming environment. So I'm going to put these in the food processor. Just a little mini food processor. I think this was only 20-ish bucks and it's really worth it. I can't find the top. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna blend these up. So this is the texture of what I want them to look like. This is basically a puree. So now I have my strawberry puree ready to go. And now we will keep moving on with the rest of the cake. All right, next now we're gonna start with the dry ingredients. We're gonna do 120 grams of oat flour. You really wanna use your food scale when you are baking, and especially if you're honing in on your nutrition. Measuring your food on a food scale is key to get your portions correct. So we're gonna do 120 grams of oat flour. You can use any oat flour you want, but I've been using the King Arthur brand. I find that the texture of this is very good and high quality, and I've enjoyed my baked goods with that. Next, we're going to add in 30 grams of all-purpose flour. I just have a regular all-purpose flour here. You could sub in a different flour if you want. All right, next we're going to add in some protein powder, not too much, just a little bit. And this is to make it more macro balanced so it's not all carbs and fat. You don't want to do too much because then it will give it too much of a protein powder taste, so we're just doing 40 grams here. And next we're going to add some vital wheat gluten. Not too much, just 15 grams, and I keep my vital wheat gluten in a big container like this. I use the Anthony's brand, which you can get on Amazon. And this is, again, to add a little bit more protein and also to add some structure into it. So it's not only for the protein. So we've got 15 grams there. Then I'm going to add a bit of cornstarch, and this will make it a little more crumbly, more of a cake-like texture, and not so much of a solid protein dessert texture. Cornstarch is a good hack to add in. So I'm just gonna do 5 grams of that. All right. Next, I'm going to add in some 0-calorie sugar replacement. You can use whatever you want. You can use stevia. I have been really enjoying the Splenda Magic Baker white baking mix. So I've really been enjoying this. But you can use stevia if you want something a little bit more natural and less processed, but I don't mind sugar replacers. I am not against them. They serve their purpose in a healthy, balanced diet. So I've got 120 grams of this. Then we're going to add in the baking powder and baking soda. So we've got 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I always tend to do in a protein dessert a heaping tablespoon. I make it a little bit more than 1 tablespoon on its own, just because I think we're fighting gravity with the healthier dessert options, and any little bit helps. And then I'm going to do a half teaspoon. Oh, so that was a 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then I've got a half teaspoon of baking soda, and then just a pinch of salt. I'm just going to do a few cranks of regular white salt here. Now I've got all my dry ingredients here, and I'm just going to mix them up. And this is what they look like. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to move into the wet ingredients. So I think I'm going to do this in a different bowl so that I can fold everything in after. So we're starting fresh here. We've got our 150 grams of fresh strawberry and 150 grams of unsweetened soy milk. The key when you're measuring is just to go slow. Do a little swoosh and pause, because it takes a minute for the scale to catch up to whatever you've put in. And then we're going to do 60 grams of applesauce. I have unsweetened applesauce. I just use the Whole Foods version. Okay. Now we'll add in some. Okay. I'm going to add in. Yeah, can you please stop talking? Thank you. All right. Next, I have some strawberry extract. This is just the McCormick one. This is just to really intensify the flavor. I guess you could skip this if you wanted to, but it just won't have that same real strawberry taste. So I'm just doing a teaspoon of this. Next, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And this is just to enhance the flavors. Okay, now all of my wet ingredients are done. I'm going to mix them up. Let me show you what it looks like. So these are the wet ingredients here. Okay, now I am going to combine them. I'm just going to slowly bring them in, and I'm just slowly pouring and mixing. Okay. I think I'm actually going to switch to a hand mixer. I'm too lazy to go get it. Okay, at this point, this is what it looks like. Let me show you. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to taste it now and see if I want to add any more sugar-free replacement, sweetener. And you know what? I think I am going to add a bit of food coloring to it. I want it to look really fun and pretty. All right, let's see. Pretty sweet, actually. I'll make it a little bit sweeter. Why not? I'm just gonna put in a little bit more. Probably didn't need it, but it's a superstition thing because I get nervous they're not gonna come out sweet enough. All right, I'm going to add a bit of food coloring to it. This is a vegan food coloring I have. I'll add a bit of pink. Just add a few drops. So I've added a few drops in here. Okay, so I have my oven preheated to 350. Now I'm gonna go get my pan. I'm going to do an 8-inch rectangle or 8-inch square, just because it will be easier to portion out. So I have an 8-inch square here. I'm just going to do a quick spritz of some cooking spray. All right, so I'm gonna add it in here. Look at this nice pink batter. And we will put this in for 30 minutes and see what happens. And we'll test it in 30 minutes. Here's the cake ready to go in. And I've got my oven preheated already to 350 Fahrenheit. And I'm just going to put this in on the middle rack. And I'm gonna put it in for 30 minutes and see what happens. Actually, you know what? I think I'll put it in at 25 and then go from there. See you in half an hour. So I ended up baking the cake for 32 minutes. I had to check it twice. It looks so good. Let me show you. When you put in a toothpick or a chopstick and it comes out clean, it's ready. And here's what it looks like. As you can see, it looks so good. Nice and pink, texture's good. So I'm just going to let this cool for a few hours while I go to the gym, and we'll frost it when I get home. I am leaving for the gym shortly, so I want to take my cake out and put it on the cooling rack to let it fully cool. I might have overcooked it a bit, but it looks pretty good. So I'm going to let this cool and we will frost it when we get back. Ooh. I am going to make the frosting. It's going to be a lemon vegan cream cheese frosting. This is the vegan cream cheese I'm going to use, but feel free to use any that you want to. I did let this sit on the counter for half an hour just to let it soften a bit. So I am going to empty this out. So I'm just going to use the whole tub. I'm gonna make it easy on myself here. So I've got the vegan cream cheese in here, and I'm going to do 40 grams of powdered stevia. You can use any that you want. I'm actually gonna start with just 20 because sometimes it is a little too sweet. So I'm gonna start with just 20 and I'll add more later if needed. My recipe calls for 40, but. So I am going to then also put in juice of half a lemon. I also do want to add in half a teaspoon of vanilla. Actually, I'm going to add in a whole teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm also going to add some lemon zest. I need to get a zester. I don't have one, so I'm just going to grate this on to get a zester. It smells so good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cream this. I'm going to give it a taste and see if it needs more powdered sweetener, more lemon juice. It needs to be sweeter, so I'm just gonna add another full 20 like my original recipe called for. How luscious that looks. All right, now I'm going to taste it and see. Wow, that's delicious. I think it could use a bit more lemon flavor, so I'm going to put a bit more zest in here. I really need to get a zester because I'm not getting the full effect that I want. And I am just going to put a bit more juice in here. All right, let me give it a taste. I think it's delicious. I think I'm gonna add just a bit more powdered stevia. I had added another 5 grams. Here's what it looks so good. Now I'm going to frost the cake. Here's what the frosting looks like. Frost this cake. Since this is cream cheese, I will be storing it in the fridge, and the frosting will thicken in the fridge, but I see my husband eyeing it and he wants to eat it now, so we don't have time to wait. I actually have some frosting left over here. So let me show you guys what it looks like. It looks great, doesn't it? I am going to divide this cake into 6, so let me go ahead and do that now. When you make your food at home, you can do any portion you want, but the 6 will work out really well for my family. This way, 1 slice will be perfect for me. If my husband wants more than 1 slice, he can have more than 1 slice. Just 1 slice is going to fit into my macros. So I have it all divided out, and let me take a bite. Here's what it looks like. It's perfect. It tastes fluffy, and it tastes like strawberry and lemon. It's so good. It's about 200 calories a slice, 15-ish grams of protein. Perfect. There's only 4 slices left now. Came out so nice. I could have baked it a bit more maybe, but it came out great. I could have baked it a bit more maybe, but I thought it came out really great.